Three,
Three,
two,
two,
one.
one. Let's go!
Woo!
Oh, it looks fun. It looks fun.
Oh
to
my
play.
god.
Oh. Nee.
Nev!
Rook, take care of the team for me.
No.
No, you
No.
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 Oh, we'll have a reason to hate it.
Hey, Chuckles. Hope I'm not interrupting.
Oh no.
Or there's gonna be a case we
No. Oh no.
Oh, no, Bianca! No!
People are always dying.
No!
It is what they do.
Oh. Oh.
Oh shit!
Oh.
did.
Wah!
My god.
What
What is that?
Holy fuck!
Oh, it's the last two gods.
Slap my ass and call me an elven god. Folks, how are we all doing after that fantastic 20 full-on minutes of Dragon Age the Veilguard gameplay? I've just came off streaming from 5 hours of dissecting and digesting every single thing we have just seen, and I am already in love with the look, the style, the combat of Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I've got so much to talk about. I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of the entirety of this gameplay very soon. We're going to go over all the articles, piece news bits together. There's so much to talk about, folks. The Dragon Age drought has finally ended, and today really is just a day of celebrating my channel of 8 years doing this. This is what it's for. These exact moments, content like this is what it's all about, and I'm so happy and appreciative to be recognized in this community and being able to do this right now when we have Dragon Age gameplay. And you know, it's just such a positive time to be a Dragon Age fan when seeing everybody's reactions to this. But for today, while I work on that breakdown, I'm just offering you my raw reactions to what we saw, and I'm just absolutely overwhelmed with how fantastic this game looks. Rook, our new character, straight away we witness him in the streets of Minrathous, and this is literally the very start of the game. We've read reports that apparently the game starts with an in-game cutscene cinematic voice acted by Varric, very much similar to the one that we saw on Dragon Age Day 2 years ago, where it explained Solas' scheme, the elven gods, and basically what he's doing as he holds that dagger up to the sky and is about to destroy the Veil. Then we end up in some kind of tavern in Minrathous. We don't really have a sense of origin faction stories now. That is the same start. We can choose a faction, however, we do not get a starting mission with said faction. It's more of a background where it's then going to actually change the dynamic of the gameplay afterwards, our relationships and character interactions, as well as a few choices and other dynamics that the game is going to open up to us based on our faction. Needless to say, a lot of media who have seen the entirety of this say that the game starts in a tavern with some arm wrestling, looking for Nev Gallus, not Neve Gallus, Nev Gallus, the detective, who is going to help us find Solas. We don't really know how Rook starts her adventure just yet, we just know that we're with Varric and we're looking for clues, ultimately leading us down to the route of looking for the detective. And that is where we leave the tavern and enter the beautiful city of Minrathous from the very start of this gameplay, and it literally just starts straight away. Corinne Bush, the game director of Dragon Age the Veilguard, said that they want this to feel like an epic finale at the start of the game, which I think is amazing and absolutely feels like it. Oh my goodness. And it really contrasts the heavy lore-dropping exposition of Inquisition. I love Inquisition, it's my current favourite Dragon Age game. However, starting that game on a first playthrough and then going back over it again and again, the intro is a bit of a slog in my opinion. You're getting so much lore, you're learning about the breach, the left and the right hand of the divine, the Inquisition, here's this character, here's that character. There's a lot to learn, a lot to digest. We spend so long at Haven until eventually we get a sense of what actually Inquisition's game loop is all about and what it means to be the Inquisitor. Whereas Veilguard is like, nope, you're going to get the plot right now, no waiting, this is the true threat, this is what Solas is doing, he's destroying the Veil right now, go meet these characters and go forth, start the Veilguard, and I love that immediate start. And we've got to talk about the combat. Now, Apparently, it seems like we cannot choose to play as our party companions this time around, and we knew that based on leaks. However, those leaks, of course, were based on alpha footage. I feel like if we could be playing as our party companions, BioWare would have revealed that within this gameplay. Needless to say, I love the action fluid approach, and there still is an element of tactics in there. There's an ability wheel where we can pause time, and very much akin to Mass Effect 2, we can choose our companions' abilities at said time and are able to then create these brilliant combinations, which is then going to set enemies ablaze or freeze them, creating powerful explosives. It just looks so fluid, so fun to play. The fact that we have two weapons that we can instantly switch out is amazing, from a sword and a bow on a rogue to mages also having some kind of melee builds, and warriors get to throw their shields, which apparently you can make an entire build around throwing your shield, just like Captain America. I mean, that is so exciting and a brilliant way to shake it up. And like, there's a hint that each of these classes have some kind of magic connection, because that rogue was definitely casting some kind of magic-y spells while they were killing a bunch of enemies there. Like, there's definitely a few hybrids going on, and they did confirm that the rogue classes that we can have are Duelist, the Saboteur, and the Veil Jumper. Immediately, the Veil Jumper sounds amazing. I'm thinking triangle crossbows, some kind of magic tie in there. So while I really want to play as my party companions, and that absolutely is a downer for me, not a big fan of that, because I love the idea of Dragon Age and being able to play as Varric or Scout Harding and just having those different party combinations and having that element to it. That is probably the biggest flaw I found in this trailer, because everything else is spot on. Genuinely, when I say this, you can even look back at my older videos. I have counted 7 wishes that I have asked for from BioWare, where said developers like Corin Bush have said they've watched my videos and they're a big fan of my stuff. They have definitely listened when I get a glimpse of this gameplay, and also just looking at the articles that have came out. For instance, the fact that we have body sliders, that is something that I would have never thought that we would have had in character customization for a Dragon Age game, but it's absolutely coming and it's amazing. Hair-based physics, such a very specific request from me, but I know we've all been thinking about it. We do not want 50 different variations of baldness unless you are Solas. No, we want flowing, beautiful fantasy hairstyles that are all physics-based and flowing with the wind as we dash through combat and just look majestic ASF. And that is coming to the Veilguard, as well as more linear levels when contrast to Dragon Age Inquisition, which was a hub-based open-world mess. Now, we do get a sense of that in the gameplay, because this is literally just a linear mission. You're following the goal from A to B, very tutorial-like. However, by that what I mean is having open world areas like Manrathus or like the Alfan Forest, where you have your goal, you have your overall quest, but you can do side quests within that self-contained area, and everything is kind of attached to it, where, like in Dragon Age Origins, you go to Redcliffe, you meet the blacksmith, you learn that his daughter's missing, and then you can go find her daughter in Redcliffe Castle as you pursue with the main quest line. That is exactly what I want for Veilguard, and it seems like that is what we're getting. Other wishes include diverse relationships. All of these characters look amazing, fantastic. Nerve Gallus, I'm already in love with you already, and hearing her have this sophisticated, serene British accent had me swooping. It was so bad. I loved it. Emmerich is apparently a gentleman, and I just think he's my spirit animal already, and I cannot wait to be his bestie. But something that I was asking for was more diverse relationships, in terms of, yes, you've got your spicy romances, you know, you can absolutely enjoy the nudity and the sex scenes of this game, but at the same time, there's a lot more dynamic elements to these relationships. There's a lot more realism in them. One of the IGN articles made a comparison to talking about Baldur's Gate 3 with the full-on bare sex scene, and while Corin Bush was a fan of that and enjoys that kind of spice, they did say that they're trying to go for a more realistic approach to romances where people will be able to relate to them. And as a Solas man to myself and a big lover of Josephine, I love the more subtler romantic tales. And so that is something that I'm absolutely looking forward to. You know, experiencing more the meat of the romance, the friendships, why we connect with them in the first place, as opposed to just the sex scene. You know, for me, it's all about that relationship progression, dynamic, and the arc. And of course, on top of that, nudity has been confirmed for Dragon Age the Veilguard, for those who do want those spicier scenes. Another wish I've talked about is Alluvian travel, to kind of trim the fat and have linear open worlds and remove away mounts from this game, and that definitely seems to be the case, because we literally see Rook go through an Alluvian from Tevinter and Manrathus to the Alfan Forest. Having a baby griffin is is something that I have wished for so long to be in the next Dragon Age game, and that is actually a reality. And our baby boy is called Asan. Thank you, Dragon Age Twitter account, who replied to me with this. Asan as a name is Elvish for arrow, which is so cute. Asan is Davrin's little arrow, and I love that so much. And also, we've all been asking for Scout Harding as a romance option, and there are so many other wishes we've had that I do feel like are just getting confirmed. With the amount of articles and just the gameplay reveal itself, this really does look like a Dragon Age game created for the fans. Other things to note is that the Dragon Age Keep is going to be redundant because we're going to be making these choices at the very start of the game via some kind of tarot card system. So it sounds like it very much is the Dragon Age Keep, but now it is actually just in the client itself, so you don't need to go to a website or have any other kerfuffle. It's all happening in the game. We can choose between 6 factions for Rook, and the customization seems so immense, from our lineage to body sliders to non-binary features. The factions that we can choose are the Grey Wardens, the Antivan Crows, the Veil Jumpers, the Shadow Dragons, the Lords of Fortune, and the Mortalitasi Moonwatch. John Epler said that we can literally create any character we want, so after I've done my first self-insert playthrough where I'm romancing Nev and I'm experiencing as a rogue or a warrior, I'm absolutely creating Taylor Swift, you betcha, as my next Rook for second playthrough, where I'm probably going to go for Emmerich. One of the biggest things, and another wish, is that the Inquisitor is indeed returning to the Veilguard, and we are going to be creating them literally at the start of the game. So forget the 50 hours you are already going to spend creating Rook. You're now going to be spending an extra 150 because you're going to need to create your Inquisitor 10 or 9 years after the events of Dragon Age Inquisition, and I cannot flip and wait. And that obviously confirms the presence and the return of our iconic Inquisitor voice actors too. I'm looking at you, Alex Wilton Regan. Also, we heard Rook's voice in this gameplay, and they have 4 different voices that you can choose from. Apparently 2 British, 2 American, and the customization seems like it is going to be wild. There are 3 specializations between each of the classes, and so many other things that I'm going to properly get into on my full breakdown. But ultimately, the biggest thing that excites the living crap out of me is Solas's role in this narrative. How heartbreaking just to see Varric going to try and talk to his old friend, even calling him Chuckles, and Solas so resolute in this plan. You get the sense that he's not going to kill him because, you know, he doesn't understand him, he knows Varric, he knows he's a good guy, but he literally just destroys Bianca, which is like such a tragic death of Varric's favourite bow. Seeing Solas again with the Lyrium blade, which surprisingly isn't red. I thought it was going to be red because it literally came from the red Lyrium idol. It was an attachment of it. Maybe Solas has found some way to purify it. We really don't know. Either way, this is literally the dagger that it seems like Rook is going to get, unless there are 2 daggers or something like that. We don't really know what's going on with the dagger thing. It's all speculation. But based on previous artworks, Rook is going to get this dagger some way or the other, unless it is a second dagger. Rook is going to have one, and that's probably going to have a gameplay use as much as it's going to have a huge story use as well. But what I love is the fact that literally in the starting of this game, Solas is just destroying the Veil. He's going for it. He doesn't give a crap. Not even Varric can convince him, which is really sad, because if there's anybody who can convince somebody, it's Varric, and no, not even Varric can do that. And what I love even more is the fact that our new hero is the problem. It's them, they are the problem. Obviously the good problem, because I initially thought, and I've talked about this at length, that Solas and his pride was going to get the better of him, and actually he was going to release the elven gods in some other machination that was ultimately his wrongdoing. But no, Rook is the problem here. We literally decide to throw one of the elven god statues to disturb Solas's ritual, which is a really good idea, and it does work. However, it literally unleashes 2 of the evil elven gods onto the world of Thedas. And have you seen Solas's face? The way he looks at them, he is literally terrified. I cannot wait. And I'm not surprised why he's terrified, because they look horrific, especially the one to the left, which we're all thinking is Gillinan, given their mutilated, twisted, blighted look. And there are many connections into Internights with Gillinan having mutilated creatures in these 11 tags across Thedas, and she's created monsters and beings and so on. There are many reasons, and the other we think is Elganan, the Allfather of the Elven Pantheon, husband to Mafal, representing the sun, and so many facets. But of course, these 2 evil elven gods could be anyone in the Pantheon. We don't really know, and it's not going to be too long until we find out. I am dying to see just the next 10 seconds of this, because what the hell are they going to do with Solas? He's frightened, and if he's frightened of them, flippin' heck. Oh, it just excites me, and I'm so excited to go against these 2. And I feel like there's going to be some kind of machination where Solas is absolutely going to help us out here. Now, bearing in mind, we kind of cocked up and threw the statues to disturb his ritual, and, you know, he was the one trying to destroy the veil in the first place. I feel like he's going to have some kind of allegiance towards us, at least for the middle of this game, while we deal with these threats, because we unleashed them just as much as he did, and that's going to create this kind of in-sync narrative. And then, once we deal with them, hopefully, we're going to get our closure with Llewellyn and Solas, because the Inquisitor is absolutely coming back. It's 100% confirmed by Dragon Age themselves, and I cannot wait for some sweet Llewellyn closure. It is going to be so good. I'm really hoping that we can just get a variety of endings of it, and just based on the fact that BioWare have already fulfilled or are seemingly fulfilling so many of my wishes, this has been the ultimate one. Genuinely, go check out my last wish list I made last year, and one that I made in 2016. I have been talking about closure for the Inquisitor and Solas for so long, and that is a variety of closures. That can be if you hated him, if you were just good friends, and of course the biggest of being his lover. Just the confrontation of Maestro Llewellyn, Salisa and Solas is something that just gives me absolute goosebumps, and I cannot wait to see what BioWare are going to do with that. But I do feel that will be in the closing moments of this game. Very tentatively, I was hoping to see the Inquisitor pop up in this opening act, but no, I think saving that for the end would be absolutely fantastic. Overall, this was everything and more. I expected something not as epic as this. Genuinely, we didn't know what direction BioWare were going in. I was trying to remain reserved, optimistic. This blew everything out of proportion. I loved it so much. And I know that as a community, not everybody loved the Xbox showcase trailer about the companions and its art style. I really hope that this just kind of removes all expectations set by that trailer, because this is the actual game. We can now judge this, we can now look at this and experience what this is as what we're going to get as a game, as opposed to a cinematic trailer that was built in Frostbite. We're going to be playing this. This is a mission that we're going to experience, and just the setup here, everything I've wanted and more. I cannot wait. And just finally, what I do like actually in hindsight, which I wouldn't have liked this 2 years ago, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that now BioWare have waited to market this game and show us something now rather than showing us something like this 2 years ago. Because what happened with Dragon Age Inquisition, we had the PAX Prime gameplay demo which came out like 16 months before Dragon Age Inquisition came out, and there were so many things in that full-on gameplay reveal that just didn't end up being in Dragon Age Inquisition, because it got cut, because the vision of the game changed, because the nature of the Inquisition changed, and so many features just did not end up being in Inquisition. And that set a precedent for the game, and when it wasn't in, we were disappointed. This mission, this 20-minute scene, and if not more of this, because it's all condensed and they've cut parts of it out, this is the game. We are getting this. There is no, this is just for marketing material. There is nothing like that. This is the opening of the game. We are getting this as a true representation of Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I'm so happy that they have now decided to do that. Having finished the game and being in its alpha stages to now literally being in alpha testing and getting ready to launch this autumn or this fall. So I'm really happy BioWare did stick to their guns and didn't tease us even further, despite our negging and despite being annoyed that all we're getting is Varric and Solas, and definitely we're going to Tevinter. No, I am now really appreciative that they did wait for us to actually give us something of pure substance. Okay, I think I've gone on enough there. Pure raw reactions. I loved everything in this, hence why I just spent 5 hours on a live stream talking about it for so long and picking apart so many articles. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a bit more time actually condensing the information, looking at this holistically, looking at all the articles, the previews, the bits of news and tidbits that we've got from Corin Bush and John Epler and a lot of media people, and condensing all of that into a big gameplay breakdown video now that you've got my raw reactions on clearly how much I love this. But truly folks, it is such an exciting time to be a Dragon Age fan. This is the moment my channel was made for, and I'm so excited just to be doing this right now as a decently known figure in the Dragon Age community. But of course, please do let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know what you spotted. What did you think about seeing Solas? Did you scream just like me when you saw him? And the Inquisitor is coming back. How flipping excited. Stay tuned for my full shot-by-shot condensed breakdown of everything we saw on this reveal, and until the next one, I should probably go and get back to work. But I have been Jackdaw, and I should go. Whoa.